Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to News Dose. And here we are on Monday with a pair of surprise Xbox Game Pass games coming day one this May. One especially is a very welcome surprise. It actually leaked last night and then it was announced today, and I can say firsthand, this is a game that you absolutely need to pay attention to. I think this is also a sign of what's to come for Xbox Game Pass and its very bright future, because I am starting to notice a trend here, and we'll talk all about that today. Now, we also got an update on Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and the hype is really starting to ramp up now. This is quite the showcase for the PS5, so stay tuned for that. As usual though, we have a busy day ahead of us, so let's get right into the news, starting off with the talented studio Respawn Entertainment. I mean, Respawn is an impressive studio and they have done great work since they first formed. This might be EA's best studio as of this moment, or at least in terms of quality. They're behind the exceptional Titanfall franchise, Apex Legends, Medal of Honor VR, and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. That is a fantastic resume, and we might be adding to that list this generation. It's now been confirmed that they are indeed working on a brand new IP. This is coming straight from the studio head Vince Zampella, and where he retweets them looking for a sixth coder for a new IP. Now, on one side, that's very exciting as we get a brand new IP from a talented studio. However, at the same time, there has been some concern from fans that Titanfall and Jedi Fallen Order will not get the sequels that they deserve. With them working on a new IP as well as Apex Legends, they may not be able to work on Star Wars or Titanfall 3. Those, of course, are great games and still are. Jedi Fallen Order not long ago got a next-generation update, and Titanfall 2 just got an FPS boost on the Xbox Series. I do highly encourage you to play those games if you haven't already. As for Respawn in this new IP though, I do think it's important to note that they do tend to work on multiple projects at any given time. I mean, if you look at it, both Jedi Fallen Order and Apex Legends released in 2019. Then Medal of Honor Above and Beyond released in 2020 for VR headsets. So they have shown that they can work on multiple projects at once, so who knows what all they're working on right now. As of this moment though, I just take this new IP as meaning we get more games from Respawn, and I think that alone is really exciting. I mean, we don't know how big or small this game is just yet, but considering their resume, I expect another top tier game. Moving on, we got another update for Neo The World Ends With You. I know fans of the original have been waiting for a very long time to get a sequel. Well, we're almost there with it releasing on July 27th, and it does look good so far. It's definitely more ambitious this time with a full 3D environment, but even then, expect a lot of content with the final release. In an interview with 4Gamer, they did reveal a lot of new information, one being that this will be a considerably longer game. It's estimated that it will take roughly 50 hours to complete the story, which is double the average of the first game. According to How Long to Beat, the first game was about 25 hours long. That does sound about right from what I remember. So it looks like the wait will be well worth it with a lot more content this time around. It does seem that they're treating this as a premiere game. It is being developed by the Kingdom Hearts team after all. They even mention in this interview that the combat has some similarities with Kingdom Hearts, and how both are kind of simple but flashy. Hopefully not quite as simple, but if you want to read the full interview, I will leave a link below. Lots of interesting tidbits there. Next up, let's talk about the timed PS5 exclusive Godfall. This was a game that Sony really tried to hype up as being an early PS5 exclusive. I mean, this game got a lot of airtime in several PlayStation events leading up to the launch of the PS5. I think that they were kind of hopeful that it would become their next Destiny. They do have some similarities, though Godfall is more focused on melee-type combat. However, it launched with mixed reception, and its timed exclusive contract is almost up. We did know that it was a 6-month contract, and interestingly enough, a new rating for the PS4 popped up on the PEGI website. Now, no other platforms have been mentioned just yet, but it does currently look like Godfall is slated for a PS4 release. That is interesting though, because I vaguely remember them saying it was exclusive to the PS5 because of the solid-state drive. But if this is confirmed for the PS4, obviously it was always capable of running on last-generation consoles. Now, maybe that solid-state drive was an added bonus of making a PS5 version first. That would make sense. If you are interested in this game though, and if you still don't have a PS5, which I know a lot of you don't, hopefully we will get some official news sooner rather than later. And while we're talking about PS5 games, we need to talk about Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. PlayStation here recently has luckily been a little bit more vocal, and today they revealed a new trailer for the highly anticipated PS5 exclusive Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. And let me just say, this game looks amazing, both in terms of its visuals as well as its gameplay. I mean, you can pretty much expect Ratchet and Clank to be insanely fun, as they always are, but the visuals in Rift Apart is just flat out stunning. It looks like a Pixar movie, really. That is a big step for gaming. I mean, let's just take a moment to appreciate just how beautiful this game looks in motion. We're really getting to the point of these games reaching for movie-level standards of animations, and we're seeing that here with Rift Apart. I do think that this is an early showcase for the PS5. This is a true next-generation experience taking advantage of the PS5's power, and I'm excited to play it myself when it releases on June 11th. Now, in this new trailer, they did go into a little bit more detail about the new female Lombax. Her name is Rivet, and she is a part of the Resistance in a dimension where Nefarious is an emperor and hunts those down who resist him. He says he always wins in this dimension, so that will be interesting to see how it plays out. I'm also very curious on how Ratchet and Rivet's relationship meshes together when they inevitably meet each other. We do see Rivet and Clank together, which is kind of fun to say, but I'm interested in seeing Ratchet and Clank reunite with a new ally on their side. Having an extra Lombax as a protagonist is pretty cool to see. I actually think this could end up being one of the best stories in the entire franchise. Crack in Time for the PS3 is my personal favorite, but there is a lot of potential with Rift Apart. And not just with the story, but also with the gameplay. Rivet does seem to have her own powers even, so I think they can really do some interesting things with the gameplay and adding just a little bit more variety. I really do like what we saw today though. I think it looks exceptional. And they do intend on showing extended gameplay on April 29th. Yet they announced a new state of play that focuses on Rift Apart, where they will show 15 minutes of gameplay. Truthfully, I'm already sold on it, as Insomniac is a great developer, and I like the Ratchet & Clank franchise. But they will also show a pair of new independent games at this state of play as well. So that's a nice bonus and a good reason to tune in. Let's talk about Xbox Game Pass though. We're not even out of April just yet, and they've already announced 2 Day 1 Xbox Game Pass releases for the month of May. Yeah, check this out. On May 21st, Knockout City is coming thanks to EA Play. This is an odd but fun-looking, competitive dodgeball battle royale type of game. It looks a little strange, yeah, but I think I will try this one out. It does look like a fun game. The big surprise, though, is Dragon Quest Builders 2, which launches directly into Xbox Game Pass on May 4th. And let me tell you, this is an excellent game. I own Dragon Quest Builders 2 on the Switch, and it's a nice combination of a JRPG mixed in with Minecraft and how you build. I did review this game a long time ago, but it is a legit JRPG with a fun and charming story. The combat isn't super in-depth or anything like that, but it's still fun. What I like about it though is its charming world and characters. Unlike Minecraft, you have actual goals to complete. It does have a story, and you have different tasks in which you complete. Personally, I like it more than Minecraft because there is more of a focus in this game. I'm not really big into the creative side of Minecraft, but yes, Dragon Quest Builders 2 is truly a great game and a big surprise for Xbox Game Pass. For whatever reason though, Dragon Quest Builders 2 is often overlooked despite how good it actually is. And that's one reason that I'm excited for this inclusion. As we've seen time and time again, Xbox Game Pass can really put a spotlight on new Day 1 games. Outriders just launched to an enormous amount of success last month with it coming to Xbox Game Pass Day 1. Game Pass, of course, now has 23 million subscribers, and there is a good chance that millions will try Dragon Quest Builders 2. And let me tell you, you absolutely should. Again, it's a great game. Now, there is a trend happening here though. One, we are seeing Xbox and Square Enix's relationship blossom. This now makes the 3rd month in a row that Square Enix has launched a game directly into Xbox Game Pass. In March, we got Octopath Traveler, and then April was Outriders, and now in May, Dragon Quest Builders 2. I mean, you also have Dragon Quest XI that released late last year. Nier Automata is in there as well, and then you have several Final Fantasy games. Obviously, Square Enix has been having some success with Game Pass, or else, I mean, they wouldn't continue to do this. I think we need to kind of keep an eye on this relationship because I do not believe this will be the last Square Enix game to launch into Game Pass. I fully expect more of this to happen in 2021. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Trials of Mana makes the Game Pass jump as well, and this is the other trend that I'm talking about. If you start to look closely, Xbox Game Pass is getting a lot of Japanese support. Xbox and Sega has been partnering up with games like the Yakuza franchise. Capcom is another supporter with games like Monster Hunter World and Resident Evil. Even Konami, out of all companies, released Metal Gear Solid 5 into Xbox Game Pass. So I think we're seeing something happen here. Xbox has convinced these Japanese publishers to bring their games to Xbox via Game Pass. This allows these games to get in an immediate fan base, and I think Xbox fans are really starting to like these type of games more because of this. They're being introduced to these great franchises thanks to the brilliance of Game Pass. They now see that Yakuza is amazing, or that Nier Automata is an absolute masterpiece. Xbox in the past has not been well known for Japanese content, and a lot of games do skip out on releasing for Xbox, even now with smaller titles specifically. However, we are seeing a major improvement here and a lot of support now thanks to Game Pass, and hopefully that continues in the future. In fact, there are some pretty crazy Xbox Japanese rumors floating around, including a Hideo Kojima partnership and Persona coming to Xbox Game Pass. Now, the verdict is still out on those and whether that's true or not, but honestly, I wouldn't be too surprised by this point. It does look like Phil Spencer is serious when he says he wants more Japanese games on Xbox, and I think it really shows, especially here recently. Once again, I just love Xbox Game Pass, and this is just another reason why. Xbox fans have been loud about Xbox needing more Japanese games, and here we are. And from the looks of it, we're going to see a lot more of this throughout the generation with the Xbox Series. Without a doubt, the Xbox Series will have more Japanese support than the Xbox One, and we're already seeing that early on. As good as Xbox Game Pass is though, Xbox also has Xbox Games with Gold for those who have an Xbox Live Gold subscription. The contrast in quality is quite evident, and it shows again in their upcoming lineup of games. So let's check out the May lineup. It includes Armello, Dungeons 3, Lego Batman, and Tropico 4. Now, I will say that these are decent games, and if you haven't played them, you might enjoy them, especially Lego Batman and Tropico 4. These are not bad games, but at the same time, a lineup like this is not particularly exciting. There's a good chance that you may have already played these games, or you just don't care. Again, these aren't bad games by any stretch of the means, but I wouldn't recommend anybody subscribe to a service like this either. Now, Xbox Game Pass, as we just talked about, is a must-own for any Xbox owner, but Xbox Live Gold, the main attraction to me would probably be competitive multiplayer rather than the monthly games that come included. Let's take a look at the poll of the day though. I asked you all if you think Xbox should revamp their achievements to include a 100% emblem equivalent to PlayStation Platinum trophies. And 66% of you said yes, and I completely agree with you all here. I've actually been meaning to ask this question for quite some time. I do really like achievements being numbers. They're nice and concise. PlayStation does levels with percentages instead, which I do prefer the numbers on Xbox. However, I think when you 100% a game, it's more satisfying on PlayStation because of those Platinum trophies. I can hop on PlayStation right now and see exactly how many Platinum trophies I have. I can even see exactly what games they are, and it's just a nice reward for completing a game 100%. On Xbox though, I have no idea, especially considering games that has more than 1,000 achievement points thanks to DLC and expansions. I have more than 1,000 points on games like Gears of War and Killer Instinct, though I didn't 100% either. So I think adding a 100% emblem would be a very welcome addition. I actually saw this a few weeks ago, but somebody tweeted up a mock-up of what this could look like, and it really does look great. You all seem to want it though, and with a mock-up like this, we already have an idea of what it could look like. So come on Xbox, let's do this. Anyways though, that's it for this episode, but if you liked the video, don't forget to bell notification and subscribe button for more content just like this. Also, if you'd like to support the channel through Patreon, thank you for making this content possible. Peace out.